In this video, we're going to talk about the Study Companion. I'm going to talk to you about my experience with it. I know a lot of people are wondering, do you need this to study for the exam? Is it worth the investment? So I'm just going to give you my experience with it so that hopefully you have the information you need to make a decision on whether or not you think this is worth your time or not. So the first thing to know is that these questions are not reflective of the exam. It goes chapter by chapter. It has about 12 to 13 quiz questions in here per chapter. They are not reflective of the exam, but they do a really good job highlighting the areas that you need to focus on for studying. So that's where I found it most helpful, was just helping me narrow down my search. The way I would do this is I would read the manual, the personal trainer manual, this guy right here. I would read that first, then go through this. There's a summary of the chapter in here, so I'd read the chapter summary, take the quiz, and then there's an answer key in the back here, which is really nice. And I would check my answers. I would mark the ones that I got wrong. And then the nice thing about the answer key is that not only does it give you an explanation of why that answer was the way that it is, but it also gives you a page number for the personal trainer manual, so you can go back and reference that and actually read that section again. So the way I did my studying is I would read the personal trainer manual. I would read that twice. So I would read the personal trainer manual a couple times. Then I would go through here, read the summary, take the quiz, and then kind of check the answer keys, see which ones I missed, and go back a third time and read the manual and focus some more on those questions. And then I would do the ACE Academy Elite quiz. When you do the quizzes in here, one thing I found really helpful is to take the quiz and then check your answers. Don't check your answers as you go along. Be really, really honest with yourself when you're taking this quiz, because if you cheat your way through this, it really does you no good studying for the exam. Remember, the purpose of this is to help you study for the exam. So if you're kind of you get to a question, you're not sure, and you kind of want to peek at the answer, it's not really doing you any good to cheat on this. So use this the way it's intended. It is a good tool. So the way I incorporated this into my studying is I would read the ACE Personal Trainer Manual, this guy. I would read whatever chapter was I was on, I would read this chapter first. I would kind of skim it just to get an idea of what they were talking about, because remember, I had no idea. I had no reference. I had no experience in personal training before I started studying for this exam. So I would read it one time, just kind of skim it, go read it all the way through without stopping. Then I would go back and read it a second time, trying to actually understand what they were talking about. After I read it a second time, I would take the quizzes, both the Study Companion and the ACE Academy Elite. Then a third time, I would go through and focus on the areas that I missed on the quizzes. Then I would read this chapter, a fourth time, and that's really when it started clicking and making sense to me. So if you're completely overwhelmed for studying for this exam and you don't know where to start, that's a very general outline that I would use. Some chapters I think I read upwards of 6-7 times, especially chapter 7, because that is massive. It's a huge part of the exam, so make sure you understand chapter 7. Other chapters I probably only read once or twice, but on average I think I read the chapters in here 4 times using that format that I just mentioned. The other thing that was kind of nice about this, I know it wasn't intended this way, but there's a decent amount of blank space in here, at the end of the quizzes. So I would make notes, for chapter 7, for example. I would write things scapular leaning versus scapular protraction. At the time that I was studying, I knew those were two things that I wasn't quite clear about, so I need to go back and kind of read those. I wrote down just simple things like hurdle step screen, Thomas test, internal versus external rotation. Just anything that stuck out to me that I was oh wait, I am kind of fuzzy on that. I need to go back and read that. I would make little notes like that in this Study Companion. So I found that to be really helpful. The appendix in here was really nice, kind of reassured me that there's a lot of thought and a very detailed process that goes into creating the exam. And when it came to exam day, I felt very confident, and there really wasn't anything that took me by surprise. It was pretty much exactly what I expected. All right, so a couple other things before I let you go. I just wanted to say I'm thinking about making a video about this book, The Essentials of Exercise Science. I know a lot of people have questions about this one, so I think that's going to be my next video, talking about how I used this for the exam and how I found it helpful. So if you are interested in that, let me know in the comments below. Finally, I have a second YouTube channel that I just started. It's all about like the personal side of stuff that I do for fitness, a lot about nutrition. I've got some workout stuff lined up for my next few videos. So if you are interested in what I do for fitness, like on the personal side of things, check out that channel. I'll put a link in the description box below. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. I hope your studying is going well. If you have questions, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I respond to every single comment, so don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask me if you have questions. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.